My Maserati is 185. Oh, are we live? Oh my gosh. Coming up next on Cliff's Notes, you're going to learn how we built a team in 3 years going from 0 to 80 agents and hundreds of millions of dollars in production with my co-host Rachel Cahill. Coming up next on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If you want to learn how to build a team, we're going to lay it down today, Rachel.
Yeah, we are laying it all out on the table.
Yep. In fact, Trelvis, we got, man, I'll tell you what, first of all, let me just acknowledge your presence here. It always is good to be, I can feel that field around Trelvis. When I get to about 15 feet from him, I get this peace about me, and it's really an exquisite feeling. Did you notice that when you came in today?
He gives me this sense of calm and joy.
Yes, it's the omnipresent, just incredible. The guy is
In
the
control.
guru of sports,
Yeah.
and one heck of a DJ on 104. Is it 104 or 5?
It is.
That's right. That's the one.
I
Yes.
appreciate you guys. Good energy recognizes good energy. How
Yeah,
about that?
that's
Exactly.
it. Positive energy, right?
Exactly.
That's how you build a team. Exactly. It's good
Exactly.
to be here today. All right, C3 is on vacation. He is actually with his sister, C4, up in New York, and they're visiting in-laws. So we decided we would take this opportunity to bring our Chief Operations Officer, the stem winder of the Cliff Freeman Group, the one, the only that we all look up to and admire, Rachel Cahill. Welcome to the show again, Rachel.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I really enjoy our times when we get to come up here and talk and chat and share with the audience what we're learning and what we've experienced.
Well, it has been a while since the last checkup from our neck up was, what, almost a year ago, I guess, wasn't it? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, we've been busy, though.
We have been cranking it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this last year has been a massive growth.
It has been a massive growth. And recently, gosh, we had a big jump in our partners, our agent count, just this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we rolled into this year with somewhere around 40 agents, right?
We did. Yeah, we're just a little bit over 40, like 41 or 42.
Yeah, and now we're up to
Over 80.
300. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not yet. Wait, I'm going to lose sleep over that. No, I'm just kidding.
So it is, what, 80?
Yeah, we're right around 80. It kind of,
Yeah, 81.
Yeah.
Close. We got
Yeah.
people in the onboarding process.
We
and
do.
That sort of thing. And what's really exciting about that is we've been able to do that without diluting any of the value that we're given to people. And that is something that, you and I are like-minded, and we share a commitment to our agents to always deliver the highest possible value of any place they could work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of our core values is pouring back into the agents and making sure that they're getting the resources that they need to grow their business, because without their growth, there's no point in having the team.
Exactly. Yeah. And, we're going to talk about why agents. In fact, one of our dear business partners, Verl Workman, just released from a study that he did just in the last couple of months, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Verl polled a group of real estate agents who'd been on a team to understand a little bit more about how valuable or not it was to be involved and sell real estate on a team. You've read the study. What did he say?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing that hit me was that it said that 76% of agents said that being on a team has changed their value and what's the best way to say it? Enabled them to grow their business and expand their capacity in ways that they had never had access to. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
I'd like to unpack some of that today and why be on a team.
Yeah, and we need to talk about that. Why why all these agents are joining our team. I mean, we're now the number one team in Dallas for
For sure.
eXp Realty,
Yeah.
and I mean, we're just really starting to scratch the surface in some areas, and we're constantly looking for quality talent to come in and take over areas that we have available, and work with us, and we operate our team a little bit differently, though. And for those of you who have read one of the greatest books, I consider one of the greatest books on real estate, written by the man himself, Gary Keller, The Millionaire Real Estate. We call it the Red Book, and I was certified to teach that for continuing ed by
Yes.
Relic, his publishing company, and back in the day, along with Shift, which is another good book to read if you're in business right now. But we kind of give credit where credit is due, but also we need to also let people know that although we considered that the Bible at one time that everybody needed to read of real estate, it's more like the Old Testament, and kind of what's going on now. The New Testament is actually sort of what we're creating in our team, and you've heard me talk about it when I talk to agents about our 2-year MBA
Yes.
in real estate.
Yes.
And what does that mean to you? What does that mean when you hear that?
To me, that means when an agent joins our team, that they're going to get the resources, the knowledge, the strategies poured into them, and they're going to get the support and the accountability to help them grow their business. So instead of this sort of being this haphazard, I'm able to close a couple of deals because I have some friends and family that want to, do some real estate. My sister wants to buy a house. Instead of it just being about that, let's create a business around you. And that, MBA is what we sort of teach. It's not, you're not getting a formal degree or anything like that, but we're going through this program to build their business and help understand what a business is, because a lot of people that come into the business as agents are workers, they're sole proprietors. They have that mentality, I'm just a worker bee. They don't really understand how to build a business around themselves. And that's really the focus of what we're trying to do, is give them the tools and the trade knowledge that allows them to grow and build a business around them that's scalable and isn't limited by how many houses they can show in a week.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting that you mentioned leadership and building and that kind of thing. And really, if you look at the income pyramid, we start at the bottom and learn a trade, and we get really good at that, right? That's where
Yeah.
you start. And then as you grow, you might want to grow into a team, in which case you have to learn how to manage people, right? And you start, learning how to build things. And then
Right.
after you've mastered that, what's left is really leadership. And that's where wealth is created. That's where, you do some really, really fantastic things at that level, but you have to skill up.
Absolutely.
And, I'll just go let's just go ahead and talk about the cruise for a minute.
Yeah, that's a great.
In fact, I think, Travis, you might even have we're going to go a little bit out of order here, but do you have a picture of the cruise back there with the boat on it? I think we might have one, and let's just see. Anyway, we can talk about it. It's coming up December 11th through the 18th.
Yeah.
And we're going out of Galveston, and this is really unique. There it is. That's the Allure of the Seas, and that is one of the largest class boats that Royal Caribbean has. Well, we partnered with our friends at the Texas Association of Realtors. They're also doing their annual international cruise on the same boat at the same time. So we'll actually be sharing part of the conference facilities. We'll have our own private ones, but we're going to be partnering up with them. And the cool thing about this, there'll be a bunch of real estate agents on there.
Yeah.
But those in our group, and we're only taking a maximum of 26.
26, hard to
Yeah,
stop.
that's it. And we're what do we have, like two?
There's, I think, 3 spots left.
3 spots left. Okay, we might as well plug it, because if you want to go, this is your chance. But the thing is that you're going to get a certification, an international certification in neuro-linguistic programming, self-leadership. So if you've ever studied, wanted to know about NLP, and in particular, if you want to acquire those skills that are required to do some of the things that we're doing, this would be a great opportunity. We teach them the 3 days at sea, and then while we're in port, then we're going to spend time doing some fun stuff that realtors like to do, like swim with the dolphins and do scuba diving. And
Anybody
that kind of
likes
thing.
to do that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be down in Roatan in Honduras as our first port. We come back, we stop in Costa Maya, and then we wind up in Cozumel, right there where
My
Jimmy
favorite
Buffett's place is.
My favorite place to dive.
Yeah, great diving spot there.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So if you'd like some information about that, I guess we'll put the info down in the notes here. If you
Yeah.
want to contemplate that, give Rachel or me a call. We'd love to talk more with you about that. But
Great
again,
opportunity.
that's the kind of level of training that we offer our agents. It's not just how to write a contract. I mean, some of that commodity type learning is available anywhere. Anybody can teach you that. But not only that, but we teach you like 36 ways to get out of a contract if
Yeah.
you're representing a buyer.
Yeah, I was going
right?
to say that we do have to teach that stuff because some of the places that some of our agents have come from give them nothing and they think they knew how to do the business. And what we find is like there's really a lack of investment into these agents and they've just been given a couple of leads and that's what they thought life was all about. When we bring them onto our team, we make sure that they're really qualified. Actually, I was talking to one of our top producers the other day and it was kind of cute because she said, yeah, I was telling him, we had this way of getting out of the contract and he's like, you can't do that. There's just no way. That's not legal. And she's like, it's totally legal. That's absolutely, he doesn't know anything. And I was like, you know that because you've been through all this stuff and you've been educated. So that's because you've been poured into and we support you and he hasn't gotten that. So it's something that we're doing differently, like, that we're doing all these things like the listing boot camp and different things that we're doing to help them understand how to do their business better.
Well, and we walk the walk. I mean, we talk it, but we also walk it. And, your background in compliance, both on the real estate and mortgage side, I mean, just if you tell the audience here a little bit about your background, your deep background and your stuff.
The short version, because it's now we're somewhere over 20 years. So the short version is that I've done mortgage origination, mortgage processing. I ran a processing company, which led into a lot of consulting. And then I decided to get into compliance consulting to really help out mortgage brokers. It was more on that side. Then I moved over into running a compliance department for a banker here in town. And we managed quite a few employees and there was a lot of growth there. And then I ended up, I know this is kind of crazy, but I've always stayed in the industry, but sometimes if I get too bored, I got to go try something new, right? So I went over, this bank had a homegrown software that they used for their mortgage banking that was everything from origination all the way through post-closing. And so I went over and worked with that software program for 7 years as the ops manager or whatever you want to call that, in charge of everything. So that was what I was doing. And then I decided to go ahead and, take a step back from that. And I went into real estate and, Cliff and I have been friends for like about 15 years now, I think.
We met when I was at the director on the Dallas Association of Mortgage Brokers and working at Keller Williams, I think.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, that was a while
You were
ago.
coaching and everything with KW and we were doing a lot a lot of training and stuff with TAMB too.
But I mean, you really created did the majority of the work on allianceacademy.org, which is a premier online continuing education.
It's online
platform.
and live, yes.
And live,
yes,
yeah, right. With Jerry Rutledge, our dear friend,
Been teaching with him since 2006. No, it's earlier than that. It's like 2005.
Right.
So teaching has been a passion for me, and I think that's where you and I have always come together on that. That's kind of where we met, I think, even.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I bring to everything that I do. I feel like there's an element of that education that people need and crave to be able to do their jobs better. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I really want to lift the people around me up.
Yeah. And then you hang out with an old guy like me. I mean, I've been in this business 35 years, longer than half the realtors right now have been alive, right?
Yeah.
So you put the two together, and it's kind of a little bit of a different model here,
right?
And you layer that with EXP and the other ways you can make money in real estate besides just being on that transaction treadmill. And it really is quite an interesting opportunity that's never existed before. But you know what? Before we get too far down that trail, we did promise that we were going to help people understand the things you got to have in place to build a mega team.
Yes.
Okay. And we kind of just broke it down for the purposes of today into three things. One is we really need to talk about core value and culture, because when you build a house, you don't want to build it on sand,
Right.
You got to build it on a firm
Rock.
foundation.
Absolutely.
And every good business starts out with its core values and its culture. We learned that from a good friend, our coach, Gary De Rodriguez, who wrote a wonderful book called Humanistic Business. And they actually compared the profitability of companies that had great culture versus companies that had kind of a not so great culture. They looked at like Apple and Harley Davidson and Google, companies that just really were culture oriented versus those Arm & Hammer and some others that were really just not, delivering on that aspect of having a business. So when you start with core values, and we've gone through this exercise a couple of times. In fact, we review our core values every year. And thank you, Trellis. There's an example of what we do. First, leaders developing leaders. We love and serve people. We're passionate and mission driven. We're agile. We're not that big old heavy battleship out in the middle of the ocean that can't turn. Man, we're on it. We move and
adapt.
That's it. We're on ice skates, baby. And then growth mindset. I mean, that is one of the most important things is to continue to grow. You just can't sit still in this world right now. And lastly, just like with the cruise, not lastly, but fun is what we're all about. And I remember when Gino Frederick said, Cliff, you need to look at EXP. We've made real estate fun again. I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that until I got here, but we've actually put a little whipped cream and a cherry on top of what EXP delivers to make it even more fun. And then lastly, which really this is what it's all about, is operating with honesty, integrity, and transparency. And so, we wear those core values on our collars, on our sleeves. We print out posters.
It's the gut check.
It's the single most important thing that when you're building a business, you need to start and be in alignment with yourself and with your core values. And if you're, if you're not working with a group that aligns with your core values, that's what gives you stress when you go to work and while you're at work. So that's just something for kind of a gut check for yourself. Think about those core values.
Yeah, we even give a copy of those core values in a poster form to our agents so they can put that on their wall and refer to that for themselves, because it's that leadership and that internal sense of things that you have to build for yourself. And like I said, most companies and teams are not really investing in the person. And this is actually, I was on a call with another top producing team that's in Michigan a couple days ago, and we were talking about the importance of having your team run to that individual agent and knowing where that agent is and meeting them where they're at. So, it's one thing to have, all your systems and programs, but you also have to know your people. And so that's one thing that we really do invest in, is having that time to know and support every single person that's in our organization, wherever they're at. Some of them are way down the road and they're like, hey, I don't need you. I'm already driving my Maserati, we don't need you. And that's totally fine. We're here to support you when you do need something. So we've got your back, whatever that is. And then there are some people that are starting their journey to, rebuild their business. And so, or they're brand new to the business. So we've got everybody from every level, and we work really hard and diligently to support everybody and create those leaders. I think the core value that we pour into the most, I would say, would be that leaders developing leaders, because we don't want to say that we know everything and we have to control everything. We don't want to have like some teams, they, have all their people basically do all their business under their name, and, they have no identity. And we really want to develop everybody's business and bring them out and bring their own identities out and help them grow.
Yeah. No, I think that's hitting the nail on the head, and that's again, and I want to make reference to sort of the old model. In many cases, in order to move up, if you're on a traditional team, you have to move out. I mean, you're never going to be that one that's running the team, staying there. You have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
We want to help you learn how to run your own team, right? So that you can go do what we do. And that's the difference, I think, in the model I mean, this is really the Three Musketeers. It's not like I care about, I want to help them. What measures my success is not how big I get, but how big I help other people get.
Exactly.
And that's where we're headed here. All right, so we probably need, just in deference to time, let's talk about the second thing that's really important, lead generation.
Yeah.
Okay, why is lead generation important, Rachel?
Oh, man. Well, I think a lot of people don't understand how to do the lead generation for themselves. So we are not in the business of feeding everybody every lead. We don't want anybody to be dependent on us, because that, again, leaders developing leaders, it goes back to a core value. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for people who want to grow, and we want to help them grow their business independent of us. We love it when people say, hey, I feel like I've kind of outgrown you. Awesome. What can we do to help you grow your independent business? You don't need us? That's cool. We're here. We're still here to support you. And that's what I love about our model with EXP and everything, is like, people don't have to leave to outgrow us, which is what you see at most brokerages. So if they, if you're like, oh, I don't find any value in what this team leader or this broker is doing for me anymore, I have to go somewhere else.
Right.
So like with the lead generation, we do lead generation, and we're using it as a tool to help kind of kickstart people's business, to train them, to help them understand, but it's all training. So we don't want to be the only source of sustenance for people, because we don't want people to be dependent, right? We want to create independent thinkers, people who can grow their own businesses. So that's really what our lead gen model is about. We're teaching how to do it. We get on our calls, we do role plays. We even have, sometimes we go out and we call expireds like live on the call, on our training. So, we have all kinds of training that we're doing to help people do that for themselves so that they're not dependent on us.
Right. And again, it really is education based. I mean, we have a, Wally Bressler, who I've worked with for years. Yeah. And by the way, he just wrote a new book that's a bestseller on Amazon, Tragic Hero.
Yeah.
And you got to pick a copy of that up, hint, hint, hint. But, he's worked with our folks who have had no experience, and he has his own phone sales secrets company and program that he shares with us, just like we have a license with Verl Workman and for his IP. Nobody's got a monopoly on all the good ideas.
Nope.
And so I don't care what firm you're with, if you're not getting help from outside of that firm, chances are you're not getting really all of the education that you could, the training that you need to be successful.
Right.
But the point being here is that, again, we're more a stepping stone as opposed to a stopping place for people. And again, back to that sort of notion of, I tell people, I don't want you here in 2 years. I want to be out supporting you and, working with you as an equal to me, not as somebody that you're working for. So that's the fun part. So lead generation, let's talk about lead gen for a minute. We do purchase some leads from, people, but we also generate our own on Google with pay-per-click. And what are some other lead generation strategies that our folks employ?
We are into, video marketing, social media marketing. It's calling how to train to call expireds and FSBOs. Pretty much everything. We have been exposing people to it so that you can find your niche. I mean, I think that's one thing that a lot of agents, especially when you're new to the business, you get emails constantly of the next shiny thing that's going to make all your dreams come true. This is the thing that's going to solve everything. And for a low price of $49.95 a month, and the subscription, we'll give you all those tools and the secrets. And, the challenges with all that is that you're really just not going to get any hands-on training with that. You're just buying into some course. They're looking for you to put $50 on your credit card and then you forget about it and they keep getting their subscription. So we really, take that information so that, the Facebook leads or whatever it is that someone wants to get into, whatever they're comfortable with, we meet them there and show them how to generate those leads.
Right.
So that's the beauty, like when, having Wally. That's one of the things that we do on our team is to have all the support people. Wally is one core piece of that for helping with the lead generation and helping them grow their sales techniques.
Yeah. And, now that we're talking about support people that help us, experts, we just brought Marty Chrisman on board. And gosh, she is such a treasure. I mean, she was one of the state brokers for Texas, and she lives down, has a beautiful place on Canyon Lake, but she loves, what gets her out of bed every morning is knowing that she can wake up and help agents. And,
Yes.
having somebody like her with that bedside manner has just been a dream come true. So Marty, if you're listening, we love you and thank you very much. We're so excited to be working with you now. But, okay, so massive lead generation. It also helps if you're thinking about growing. Now, just contemplate this. If I'm going to go in and let's say I want to go up and up a new market, if I don't have a way to generate massive leads in that market, then it's going to be really hard for me to get traction in there. What you don't want to do is go in and, bring a bunch of agents on board and not be able to support them with leads initially. So.
Yeah.
The leads are designed to sort of prime the pump, the ones the company leads.
Right.
And while we're priming the pump and enabling people to still pay their bills and, generate cash flow while they're learning the business, that's how when we teach them how to lead generate and how to start making their own brand. Now, that's something we haven't really touched on, Rachel, but we don't even require some of our partners to use our brand.
Mm-hmm.
They can use their brand as the primary brand and EXP as the secondary brand, yet still be under our umbrella,
Absolutely.
our family, to learn all the things that we do and support them with leads and coaching and so forth.
Absolutely. The important thing, and this is where, I go back to the leaders developing leaders, is allowing our team agents to have an identity of their own. Because so many times when you go in and you join a team, you get stripped of your identity and everything gets poured into the team, and you just kind of get absorbed in there. And we're not looking for that. We don't want people to get stripped away. We want you to have an identity. We want you to have value, and that you built this. This is your business, that we helped you, we supported you, we gave you the platform to do it on. But you built this, and you can take some pride and ownership in the fact that you own that business, and that's yours.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to become an employee.
Never.
Because what happens to employees when things go south?
They got to go find something
They
else
get laid
to do.
off.
They get laid off.
One of our dear friends, I won't mention any names, but Redfin just shut down a big office down here on Internet Boulevard.
Yeah.
And 245 people or something.
Yeah, and the challenge with some of the companies, like in that model where all they've been done their whole time, their whole existence, is that they're getting fed leads.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really have anything to go to once they get started. When they get kicked out of the nest, it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh,
Yeah.
So that's what the world is like.
Yeah, and here's a hint. If you're brand new and you're thinking about getting into real estate, the hardest thing is not real estate. Okay, write this down. The hardest thing is lead generation and lead conversion. And if you get really good at that, you'll crush it. But you got to get good at it, right?
Yeah.
So what about lead conversion? We talked about role playing and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Lead conversion is where it's all about. That's the one thing, if you can adjust that dial, you can adjust your bank account without spending any more money.
Right.
Right? If
Right.
you can double your lead conversion, guess what happens to your income?
Yeah, doubles, triples, whatever. It's unlimited.
Right.
You're only limited by your own capacity. And so that's one of the things that I think is really cool that we do, is we actually give a lot of script training, but we don't just hand you a script and say, here's the script for FSBOs or here's the script for buyers. We actually train to it. We do role plays. We listen to your calls. We have a system that allows us to listen to agents' calls, and not because we want to spy on you or because I just have nothing to do, but because for training purposes, sometimes there are little things that we can hear in the way you're saying something, and we can adjust that. And then all of a sudden it unlocks the business. And you're just like, wow, that's totally different in how I've been saying it. A lot of times, you're stumbling over your choice of words that you're going to use, on a phone call with a buyer or a seller, and, any kind of lead that you're working with. And so if you can't really get comfortable with that and you don't get that tweaking done, then you're not going to have the conversion. So without the conversion, you're not going to close any deals. Without any deals, you're going to have to go find another job.
Yeah,
'Cause
it-
family needs to eat.
Right. In case you don't know the numbers, the words themselves represent only 7% of human communication.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're on the phone, what's the other part? The other part, let's tell them, tonality and voice. And then the biggest part is body language.
Body language if you're face to face.
Yes. So you're always better face to face than you are either on the phone or texting.
But you can smile even on the phone. People will hear you. I have had so many people over the years tell me they can hear me smiling when I'm talking to them on the phone. They
Yeah.
can hear that.
Yeah. You remember Glenn Ross, when these leads suck?
Yes.
Yeah. I got to tell you, folks, the leads don't suck. You suck.
Yes.
Okay.
And we don't say that because we hate you or anything.
No, you just need to get proper training on how to
Yes.
convert the leads.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So what about systems and processes?
Systems
How
and
important
processes.
are systems? And this is really kind of your wheelhouse. You like to play in those things.
Yes, I think having systems and processes, one thing that a lot of teams don't have is a really good support structure. So, we've done things, we've kind of created our own little, it's not a Wikipedia, but I call it my Wikipedia of everything you need to know. It's like how to be a buyer's agent, how to be a listing agent, how to be, how to do referrals, how to do everything is all in this little website that I've built out. And we use that as our training tool and our reference so that when agents are, writing a contract at 3:00 in the morning, I don't have to be on the call with them writing a contract at 3 in the morning. They can watch the video and say, okay, here's the steps that I need to go through. We've provided all these resources to help them have that support when they need it, not when I'm available. Then we have things, like our CRM and, giving some really solid training around how to optimize that, how to use it, and constantly holding them accountable. I think that is the biggest thing. And I actually had one of our agents just tell me this last week was that he thanked me for having a place to be where he was held accountable. He's never had that before.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I've heard it said, it was Dan Beer or Kyle or somebody said that, that the highest form of love is holding somebody accountable. And, a lot of real estate agents don't want people meddling in their business and stuff. But the challenge is, guys, if you don't get accountability, you're never going to get better. I mean, the whole thing, like going to the gym. Yeah, it sucks when you get there, but don't you always feel a lot better when it's done? Because it's keeping you on the right path. And that's the way accountability works. It really helps you get focused and dialed in. And it just, you have to do the things with accountability that you need to do to be successful. This is not rocket science. This is a grind. Success is very boring in real estate. It's doing the same things over and over and over, but doing them better than anybody else does. Right? Does that make sense?
Proven, repeatable process.
Yes. So you have to trust the process, but you also have to put the effort in, and you have to get really good, and you have to practice. People that get on the phone without role playing and stuff, there's a reason why doctors operate on dead people first.
Ah, yes.
And we've seen some agents come in and just kill leads pretty bad, right?
It's very easy to do. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Right.
There's some things you can say that just
I mean, you don't even know, and that's why we record calls.
Right.
Because, like golf, for example, if you want to learn how to play golf, go to a place where you can have your golf swing videotaped and figure out what the heck you're doing. Let
Right.
somebody show you and help you so that your brain can reprogram itself and your subconscious can then become your ally rather than your enemy, because the enemy is the inner me,
Right.
isn't it?
absolutely.
It really is.
It's all that space right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where your business gets stuck, and that's where you're not having success. Is that
Right.
little space
Absolutely.
right here?
And so the last thing that's really important about building a mega icon team is you're going to find yourself, if you're the leader, you're going to find yourself doing this more than you ever thought, and that's recruiting and retention, right? So I like to say that retention starts at day one at the Cliff Freeman Group. Let's talk about ways that we retain agents here. Why would somebody not want to leave this brokerage in this group?
Well, for one, we have opportunities for growth that are not dependent on you starting up your own line of business. Just the fact that we've built our team, our brokerage in a way, this is when I am talking to people, to other brokers, they're like, I don't know. And it's kind of a neat thing if you say this to them and they get to understand that, because you and I are both brokers. We have our licenses, right? We could go start our own brokerage, but the reason why we do it on the EXP model is because it allows us to pour things into our agents that we couldn't do on our own. There's no way we could provide, the stocks, the revenue sharing potentials for legacy growth, for their family wealth. The health insurance and things like that come with a massive cost. So us building our platform and our business and our team on that platform of EXP allows us to have access to those resources. And then on top of that, we turn around and pour back into our agents like crazy because we want to support them and help them grow their business. We want to celebrate with them and just jump for joy with them. So we're doing all these events,
Oh, events.
Yes,
Did we-
events.
in fact, I think, Carlos, is it possible we have a little reel from the one we just did here, the luxury event?
Oh yeah, can we play the luxury
Can we
event?
give them a little bit of that? We absolutely brought it today. The fire was burning.
Man, they give you the juice. It's not just a bunch of you can do it rah-rah stuff. You're getting the real secrets from the people who have done it, not people who read a book about it. I mean, these are the people who wrote the book about it.
Josh Altman, Frank McKinney, a panel of superstar expert luxury agents here in the DFW area.
Open houses are the greatest form of hot leads that you will ever find in this business.
The balance of the keynote speakers was so incredibly good. A balance between heart and strategy, and this incredible sense of information that would feed every single real estate agent the absolute gems of lifetimes of experience making millions and millions of dollars in the luxury market.
It's never the actual taking of the risk where you feel afraid. It's as you're thinking about stepping up your game in this luxury real estate market, starting your own company, leaving the one you're with, whatever it is, it's the thought of taking a risk.
The fear of loss really kicks in, and they're just like, you know what, I don't even want to risk competing and losing it at auction. I'm going to make a pre-auction offer.
Do I think the agents got the value that they were expecting when they showed up here this morning? Oh, absolutely. In fact, many of them told me they did. They came, they stayed, they enjoyed, they learned so much, they made so many wonderful contacts. It was priceless, truly. I can hardly wait till the next one. Can we do it tomorrow?
You got to come to the next one because I'll be back and I'll be sharing the secrets.
I'll see you either at the top or from the top. That day, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You rocked it. Watching that video gives me goosebumps because I just remember the energy that I got from all of the agents that attended that event and how much love they were pouring back to us because of what we poured into them. So it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. And that was no small feat. I mean, honestly, I'll share it, but I mean, that cost a lot of money to put together, and we didn't limit it just to our agents.
We did not.
We
It was
shared
open.
it with, it was broker agnostic. There wasn't one word of EXP mentioned at the whole thing. And we do it because that's where we come from. We come from a heart of education. We have a mindset of abundance here. Folks, there's, some people in this business don't believe there's enough grains of sand on the beaches to serve everyone. And I got to tell you, that's not the way we operate here. But we would love, if this is something that you feel like maybe you're not getting where you are, we'd love to, we're always growth minded and interested in finding really good, humble, hungry, and smart team members here who want not just to be team members, but partners and really want to self-actualize and explode and seek their own level. I mean, that's really what we can help you do. And I just want to offer this as a personal invitation to reach out to either me or Rachel or C3 and just have a call with us. We'll do a free business assessment for you and just give you the straight skinny on where we think you're heading and where you could improve. And if you're happy where you are, you stay right where you are, that's fine too. There's always going to be room for every brokerage that's out there. There's some great ones. And that's not our goal. Again, ultimately, our goal is just to help people. That's what happens when you get to be my age and you just don't give a shit anymore, and all you want to do is help other people. So,
Can you say that on the air?
did I say that? Oh, can we back that out? Sorry about that. At least I didn't say something worse than that. How
Yeah,
about
you
that?
did fine.
Okay, all right. So I think we pretty much summed it up for team growth. Recruiting and retention. And again, when you're offering this kind of value to people, why would somebody choose to go open up their own? First of all, they don't have the leverage. You talked about this earlier. I mean, I was an independent broker for 9 years.
Yeah.
You were an independent broker.
Yeah.
It was silly. I mean, it's like trying to swim from here to, across the English Channel and you're in a swimming pool. I mean, you can't get out of your swimming pool to get where you need to be in order to get to the other side of the English Channel.
Not to mention the liability that you have to always be carrying around, the risk.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So anyway, we're excited. This has been a great run here. We're excited to get to 100.
Yeah.
And we'd love to extend the offer to you if you want to talk with us and see if you're cut from the cloth that we're looking for, and if you're really driven and want to play at an NFL level. Call us. Give us a ring. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Rachel?
My cell phone number is 469-712-5872.
Okay. And
Hit me up.
yeah,
Text me,
and
whatever.
we're all over. You know how to reach me. You can get me here on Facebook or YouTube, whatever. I'm all over the place. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not. But, like I'll be in Orlando coming up. We're headed to Vegas. We're going on that cruise in December. But we do like to have fun, and we do like to support everybody in our mega expansion group. Just congratulations to you. You're on your 3rd year here, right?
Just about.
And, yeah, just about. And man, it's hard to believe how far we've come since you came on board. So
It's been an exciting ride, a lot of hours, and what you were saying about, we're going all these places. We work hard. We play hard, but we work hard. So it's really important. We do so much to pour into everybody, and just I have so much love for everybody that's on our team, and they know that. And very, very grateful for everybody that we have in our family.
yeah, and we got to show some love to everybody at EXP too, because it's without them, and you know who you are, Tony and Sean and Karen and Rick and the guys locally here, and then not to mention, of course, corporate. We've got some amazing talent, Michael Valdez and Dave Kennard, and of course, Glenn, the founder, Courtney Chacarin. I could sit here and name off more, but you know who you are. We just really appreciate you, and thank you for making this opportunity possible for us to do what we like to do. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
You got anything else you want to say to the group?
I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah, we did. I think we got to close with what we opened up with. Ready?
Okay, go. You're going to sing?
My Maserati does 185. We'll see you on Cliff's Notes next week. All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.